Okay, can you see the screen, students? Hello?
Yes, sir. We are able to see.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think last class we started with transport layer. I mean, last two classes we did transport layer, and I think I have covered what is UDP. I have to cover how to calculate checksum in UDP. That one is pending, but I'll do it later. I have started with before starting TCP. I think I have started with uh, reliable data transfer protocols. In that reliable data transfer protocol 1.0, I have covered, right? Am I right, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So we have to start from RDT 2.0 today. So can you can see this slide, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, great. So this is what we had discussed in the previous class. Four function calls are very important: RDT send, UDT send, RDT receive, and deliver data. RDT receive and deliver data happens in basically the receiver end, and UDT send and UDT RDT send and UDT send function call will be called uh, in your sender side. Okay, this is the sender side and this is the receiver side. You can see while sending application data, application layer creates the message and calls a function. I mean, when that message comes into transport layer, the function call is RDT send, and then the transport layer makes a function called UDT send because the below layer is unreliable channel. It goes through the channel, and when it is received in the receiver side, there will be a function call in the transport layer again called RDT receive. That means it has received the packet from the below layer, network layer, it is receiving it, which should be an reliable data transfer in the transport layer. Okay, then it delivers it to the above layer, the application layer. The function call is deliver data. So we have observed that you can see these are the four function calls. Yeah, RDT 1.0, we have assumed that underlying channel will be perfectly reliable. That means there will be no bit errors and no loss of packet. Okay, there are no bit errors and no loss of packet, and there are separate FSMs which we have to write. In the sender side, what happens? The transport layer will be waiting, or a node will be waiting for a call from above, and when it receives a packet, what it will do RDT send. Is a function call. It makes an RDT send, and a packet will be created and make packet. It creates a packet, and it again makes a call called UDT send. For this event, the thing what you see above this line is event and below this line is action. RDT send is the event. For RDT send event, a packet will be created and UDT send function call will be done after creating the packet. And then in the receiver side, what happens? It will be waiting for a call from below. From the network layer, it is waiting. So if the event is RDT receive, what will happen? It will extract that packet and the data in that packet and deliver it to the above layer. Is that clear? So that's what it does. Then we'll go to RDT 2.0 channel with bit errors. Okay, we have assumed in RDT 1 channel without bit errors and without loss of packet. Now in 2.0, we are assuming that there will be bit errors. Okay, you cannot say completely reliable. There will be bit errors. Actually, in 3.0, we'll consider there will be packet loss also. Okay, we'll forget about that as of now. So in RDT 2.0, basically we assume that there are no packet loss, but there are bit errors. Am I clear to you, students? With RDT 1.0 and RDT 2.0, what is the assumption in RDT 2.0? Is it clear to you?
Sir, this channel is the transport layer channel or the next level, the network layer channel?
No, there is no channel for separate layers. Okay, it's a channel between two nodes.
Okay, okay.
Assume in that way. Okay. So suppose if there are errors, like how do human recover from errors during conversation? How do we recover the error? Say I say something you won't understand. What you will do? You will ask me, or we will do something. So underlying channel may flip bits in packet, checksum to detect bit errors. See, we ask the other person in front of us, you can speak again or do something. I didn't understand. Sorry, I didn't get you. Something we will tell. But here, to understand what the packet the party has sent, and if there are bit errors, how to recover that, how to like detect there are bit errors, you can add checksum bits. Okay, checksum to detect bit errors. So this is how bit errors are recovered in RDT 2.0. We know that in RDT 2.0 we assume that bit errors are there. To recover from bit errors, we will be adding checksum. So how to add that checksum? We will see that. So underlying channel may flip bits in packet, checksum to detect the bit errors. How to recover from errors? Acknowledgements. Receiver explicitly tells sender that the packet received is okay. Receive or with a negative acknowledgement, receiver explicitly tells the sender that packet had errors. Okay, sender retransmit packet on a receipt of negative acknowledgement. That means whenever a packet is received, receiver should send an acknowledgement informing the sender that the packet received is fine. If the receiver received a packet and if it checks in the checksum bits and it finds that if there are errors, how to recover from that error? Receiver will inform the sender that there is a packet error or bit error. How it will inform? It will send a negative acknowledgement. When the sender receives a negative acknowledgement, sender will retransmit that packet. Is that clear? So new mechanisms in RDT 2.0 apart from beyond 1.0 is error detection. Is that clear? And feedback, that is control messages like acknowledgement and negative acknowledgement. Here if you see, the sender receives, the sender sends and the receiver receives, that's all. There is no other communication between sender and receiver. Here sender sends and wait for the acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. Is that clear? Receiver upon receiving, not just receiving is the task. It has to send an acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. Okay, so let us see how it is sent. In the sender side, you can observe here. In the sender side, what happens? Sender is waiting for call from Evo. You can see the students. Please be attentive. I want your attention here. Sender is, you can see in the previous FSM, that is in 1.0 FSM, there were only one state. The after the action, the control goes to the same state again and again, loop back. But here in the 2.0 FSM sender, you can see there are two states in the sender side. Okay, this is the sender side. There are two states. What happens? Sender is waiting for a call from above, and what will be the event? RDT send. RDT send is the event. When RDT send event is done, what should happen? For the action should be send packet. It has to create a packet with the data and checksum. In RDT 1.0, only data used to be there. Here you are adding checksum also. Okay. And then you are making another function called UDT send. That's the only difference here with 1.0. With the data, you are adding checksum bits also. And what happens in 1.0, it used to do this and wait here itself. Again, call from Evo. But what is the difference in 2.0? You should wait for acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement before you receive a packet from Evo. That means before you transfer a next packet. So what it will do after sending a packet with adding checksum and data, it will go to the next state, that is wait for acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. Is that clear? Wait for acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. It receives. So when you are in this state, when the sender is in this state, receiver waits for a packet, that is acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. And if the received packet is negative acknowledgement, receiver is waiting. Please mute yourself, students. Please mute yourself. Okay. So you are in the sender side. You have sent a packet and you are waiting for the acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. So here you can see the action is you are waiting and you received a packet and you are also checking whether it is acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. If it is negative acknowledgement, what you are supposed to do? You have to send this packet again. You have to make this call UDT send packet, because you have already generated the packet. UDT send and send packet. You can see here again you are resending it if it is a negative acknowledgement. And if you have received the packet and if it is a positive acknowledgement, that means if it is just an acknowledgement, this symbol inverted V, this symbol says do nothing. Is that clear? If you received a packet and if it is an acknowledgement, do nothing, go to the next previous state again. The states will flip from waiting for call from above to waiting for acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. Is that clear? Between these two. Is it clear, students? In the sender side, FSM 2.0 sender side, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the receiver side, what happens? You can see in the receiver side, there is only one state. Unlike in the FSM sender of 2.0, receiver have only one state. So what happens? It is waiting for a call from above. It receives a packet and it has to check whether it is corrupted or not corrupted. If it is corrupted, what it is sending? It is creating a packet UDT send with negative acknowledgement. You can see here UDT send, a packet is sent. Here UDT send negative acknowledgement if it receives the packet and it is corrupted. Okay. Using checksum bits, it can check whether it is corrupted or not. So if it is corrupted, it is sending a negative acknowledgement. Then again, yeah, the other option, it receives a packet and if it is not corrupt, what it has to do? It has to extract the packet, deliver it to the above layer, and it has to send an acknowledgement. Is that clear? If it is corrupted, directly send a negative acknowledgement. If it is not corrupted, extract the data, deliver it to the above layer, and send an acknowledgement. Is it clear, students? Have you understood FSM 2.0 with bit errors? How to recover the bit errors, sender and receiver side FSM? Is it clear to you? Yes or no? You have to respond.
Yes, sir.
Any questions regarding this? RDT 1.0 and RDT 2.0 we have done. Yes, tell me.
Sir, receiver is sending some acknowledgement, no, sir?
Yeah.
That it should get some acknowledgement that the message correctly, whether the message correctly reached the sender side or not.
For the
It should be a
acknowledgement, it should send an acknowledgement. You are telling that?
Yeah, it should be a three-way, no, sir, like TCP.
No, if that is the case, I have another question. Sender sends an acknowledgement for what the acknowledgement it has received, and how the sender will get to know that has reached the receiver? Again, it has to send an acknowledgement, right? It will become a continuous process. That will generally what happens. I will send you a message. You will send an acknowledgement to me. Only after receiving the acknowledgement, I will send the next packet. When I send the next packet, it is understood to you that I have received your acknowledgement. If I have not received an acknowledgement from you, I am not going to send the next packet. I will retransmit the old packet again after some time. Is that clear? That is how there will be a synchronization between receiver and sender. There is no need for three-way here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it.
Got it? Okay. Okay. Hope this is clear to you, students. Yeah.
Sir, how will the system know if it has to use RDT1 or RDT0? Like the error.
See, none of these are in use now. Okay, this is for you to understand how TCP will work. Okay, this is the principles of reliable data transfer. Okay, how reliable data transfer was initially developed, and it is made as transmission control protocol. Okay, these are the building blocks for transmission control protocol. You have to, if I directly go to transmission control protocol and tell you how it works, it is very difficult to understand. That's why it is split up. Like initially you will see that there are no bit errors and there are no packet loss in the communication channel, how it works. And if there are bit errors, how you are going to recover it? That the next 3.0 will come. In 3.0 we will assume that there are packet loss also. In that, how do we overcome? So you combine all this and make as a new protocol called TCP. Is that clear? These protocols are not in use now. It is for you to understand how TCP works. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. So
Yeah.
what is that A representing over there in the sender side?
A, where is A? Sender side. Here.
Yes. Yes,
It is
sir.
not. It is not A. It is inverted V. It is just a symbol, null symbol. That means if you receive a packet, in the receiver is waiting for an acknowledgement, right? If the sender is waiting for an acknowledgement, right? If the sender receives an acknowledgement, and if it is not a negative acknowledgement, if it is just an acknowledgement, don't do anything. Just go to the previous state. That's all. It is symbol of null. Don't do anything.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So we'll go to the next thing. Let us see what is there next. Anyway, I'll be sharing you this slides. You can go through this, just animation for you to understand. Okay. Two scenarios, when what happens with the no errors and what happens with errors. I've explained both for you. Yes. What is the flaw with 2.0? We know that 2.0 can solve the problem of bit errors, but there are some issues. What is it? Let us see. What happens if an acknowledgement of or negative acknowledgement is corrupted? You send a negative acknowledgement, but receivers thinks that it is an acknowledgement. What happens? If there are bit errors in the acknowledgement and negative acknowledgement, what will happen? Sender doesn't know what happens at the receiver. Can't just retransmit, possible duplicate. So this will create duplicate messages. So how do you handle duplicate messages? Sender retransmit current packet if acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement is corrupted. Sender adds sequence number to each packet. Receiver discards or doesn't deliver duplicate packets. How does this will work? Let us see that. Stop and wait. So this is a problem with a protocol called stop and wait. See, 1.0 and 2.0, what we are seeing is stop and wait protocols. It is called as stop and wait. Why? Because you send a packet. Sorry, forget about 1. 2.0 is stop and wait. Why it is called stop and wait? Because you send a packet, you wait for the acknowledgement, only then only after receiving the acknowledgement you send the next packet. You are after sending, you're stopping and waiting for the acknowledgement. Okay, sender sends one packet, then waits for the receiver response. This type of a protocol is stop and wait, which is very slow and there are a lot of flaws in it. Okay, so TCP is not basically stop and wait. There is another term called for TCP. It is called as pipelining. How pipelining is created, we'll see all those things later. What you have to understand is the protocols which you are studying now is basically stop and wait. And there is a flaw with 2.0, RDT 2.0. It may end up having acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement or corrupted acknowledgement and negative acknowledgement. You have to check the correctness of acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement. How do you do that, students? Can anyone tell me? How do you check whether the packet in 2.0 we observed that there are bit errors. So what did you add to find out the bit errors in 2.0? Checksum. So similarly, if you want to check whether the acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement that the receiver is sending is corrupted or not, what you have to add there? What do you have to add? As simple as 2.0. Let's see that. Okay. The next protocol is 2.1. Sender handles. Am I audible, students? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 2.0, you got to know what is the problem or flaw with 2.0. Let us go to 2.1. And before going to 2.1, we will consider that there is sequence number for each packet which you are sending, and there is a checksum bit added for the acknowledgement and negative acknowledgement also. Okay, so you can see 2.1 sender side handles garbled acknowledgement or negative acknowledgements. How it will handle? Let us see that. RDTC, you can see 4 stages here. So in the first stage, what happens? Waiting for call 0 from above. What is 0? 0 is the sequence number of the first packet. Okay, so RDT send, you are creating a packet with sequence number 0 with data and with checksum. In the RDT 2.0, we used to add only data and checksum. Here we are going to add a sequence number called 0. Okay, and you send it. You are waiting for the acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement for that 0. Okay, so what happens? You received a packet and that received packet is corrupt, and it is a negative acknowledgement. You see here and or, two different things are there. You have received a packet. After that, what you have to check? Whether the received packet, that is acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement, whatever it is. If the received packet is corrupted, if the received acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement is corrupted, then you are not worried at all. Whether it is acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement, you will retransmit. Or if the received packet is not corrupt, but if it is negative acknowledgement, still you have to send it. That's the meaning of or symbol here. Is that clear? You have received a packet. If it is corrupt or if it is negative acknowledgement, you retransmit it. Okay, and stay in the same state. If you want to go to the next state, what you have to do? You received a packet and you observe that it is not corrupt, and you observe that it is a acknowledgement. Only then you go to the next state. What is next state? You are not going to hear back. Okay, you are going to hear what is the next state. You are waiting for a call 1. That means previous time you have sent a sequence number, a packet with sequence number 0. Here you are sending a packet with sequence number 1. Okay, so 1 and 0, it will alter like that. Is that clear? So it is also called as alternating bit protocol. Why? Because sequence number of the packets alter from 0 and 1. You are not going to have a large sequence number. Only 0 and 1. First packet is 0, second packet is 1. Again, first packet is 0, third packet is 0, fourth packet is 1. Fifth packet is 0, sixth packet is 1. Like that, it will alter between 0 and 1. Hence, this protocol is also called as alternating bit protocol, RDT 2.1. Is that clear, students? Alternating bit protocol. I'll repeat again. You are waiting for a packet 0 from above. You have an action called RDT send. Sorry, event called RDT send. For that action is you are creating a packet with sequence number 0, data and checksum. You send it using UDT send and wait for an acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement 0. You have received an acknowledgement. You have received a packet. If it is corrupt or if it is negative acknowledgement, you have to retransmit it. And or what happens if you received a packet and it is not corrupt and it is acknowledgement? Do nothing. Wait for the next packet. Go to the next stage. Wait for a call 1 from above, and rest of these 3 things are same as this. Okay, it's just mirror of the diagonally mirror for this. Instead of 0, you will have 1 here. Is that clear, students? Any question here with RDT 2.1 sender?
Sir, that received packet is sender is receiving that packet, no sir?
Yeah, sender is receiving the packet. Sender will be receiving either acknowledgement packet or negative acknowledgement packet.
It will also receive that packet, but how will it know whether it is corrupt or not corrupt, sir? If it is,
I'll tell you. See, here you are adding checksum, right, to find out whether the sent packet is corrupt or not. Similarly, receiver, upon receiving a packet, if it wants to send a negative acknowledgement or if it wants to send a positive acknowledgement, what it will do? It will also add a checksum to it. I will show you the receiver side FSM. It will also send a checksum like this even for the acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement packet. Only then the sender will get to know the received acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement is correct. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Got it?
Got it.
Sir, instead of checking whether the received acknowledgements are correct or not, why not for this technology or corrupt bit procedure can be applied for the original packets itself? Then there won't be any need for acknowledgement, no sir. Was I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible. See, for the original packet, what the sender is sending, definitely for that checksum bits are added. Receiver, upon receiving that packet, it will check whether there is any bit errors or not. If there are no bit errors, then receiver has to send an acknowledgement for it, right? Or else how the sender will get to know the packet has been reached the destination properly? Receiver has to send an acknowledgement. What the question is, if the sent acknowledgement is corrupted, what will happen? Okay, for that you have to add checksum for the acknowledgement also. Is that clear?
Yes.
Got it?
So what advantage are we getting by having 2 states in this, like 0 and 1? Instead of it, we can have 1 and check for the corrupt again and do
That
it.
is to handle the duplicate packets. Okay. Say for example, what happens you will understand that when we go to 3.0. Okay. Because you may end up in sending two packets continuously without without receiving a proper acknowledgement. Okay. So it happens to be like some acknowledgements may come very late. Okay, and there might be chances of duplicate packets. You will understand that later in 2.2 and 2.3. You will understand that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Shall we go to the next topic, students? What you have to understand is at RDT 1.0, no bit errors, no packet loss. At RDT 2.0, no packet loss, but with bit errors. And we got to know that RDT 2.0 has some flaws. So 2.1 is alternating bit protocol. We are adding checksum for acknowledgement and negative acknowledgement also, and we are adding sequence numbers. You can see in the receiver side what happens. In the RDT 2.1 receiver side, see, receiver is waiting for a call 0 from below. Okay, so it received a packet. It received a packet and it is corrupted. The received packet is corrupted. What it has to do? It has to create a packet with negative acknowledgement, and you can see checksum here. In RDT 2.0, checksum was not there in the receiver side. Okay, if the received packet is corrupted, it makes a packet that is negative acknowledgement, and adding a checksum here, it sends. Okay, sometimes what happens, it receives a packet, it is not corrupt. If it is not corrupt, but it is receiving a packet with sequence number 1. See what happening, it is waiting for a packet with sequence number 0, but it has received a packet with sequence number 1, which is wrong again. Okay, so what happens, if it receives a packet number 1, again it has to send an acknowledgement, send packet, make packet acknowledgement. Okay, this is it has to send an acknowledgement and send the acknowledgement again. Okay, for that particular packet. So here, if it receives a packet which is not corrupt, and if it is having a sequence number 0, what happens, it extracts the packet, deliver it to the above layer, it has to make an acknowledgement and checksum and send UDT send, and it has to go to the next stage and wait for it. See, what I want you to do now is just try to understand this diagram. I'll give you 3-4 minutes. Go through this diagram, try to understand it, and ask me if you have any doubts here. If you can go through this properly, if you have understood RDT 2.1 sender, you can easily understand this also. Is it clear, students? Just 2 minutes. Go through this and let me know if you have any doubts or questions in this. Okay. Could you go through this diagram, students? Have you understood how it is working? Let me tell you briefly. Receiver is waiting for a packet with sequence number 0. If it receives a packet with sequence number 0 and if it is not corrupted, it will just extract the packet, deliver it to the above layer and sends an acknowledgement with checksum. Okay. If it has received a packet and it is corrupted, it has to send a negative acknowledgement and wait there only. What happens when it moves to the next state? It is waiting for packet number 1. It receives a packet which is corrupted, send a negative acknowledgement. If it received a packet which is not corrupt and has sequence number 0, okay, it has to send an acknowledgement and it has to send a packet. Okay, just this is the overall idea of it. Is it clear to you? Any questions? Only when it receives a expected sequence number, it goes to the next packet, next state. If see here, it is expecting for 1, but it has received 0. In that case, it sends an acknowledgement, but it is waiting there only. Why? Because it is expecting for packet 1. Here also, it received a packet which is not corrupt, but with sequence number 1. So what happens? It is waiting for 0 here, so it stays here only. It is waiting for 0. Only when it receives a packet with sequence number 0, it goes to the next state. Is it clear, students? Shall we go to the next topic? You have any questions here? Am I audible?
Sir.
Okay, is it clear? Shall we go to the next one? You have RDT 2.2 also, and then we have to go for RDT 3.0. Okay, I guess there is no problem. We'll go to the next topic. Okay, RDT 2.1, small discussion. Sequence number added to packet. 2 sequence number 0 and 1 will suffice. Why? I already told you there is no requirement for more numbers here. I will tell you that the reason also. Must check if the receiver acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement is corrupted. So we are going to add checksum for it. So twice as many states. So state must be remembered whether expected packet should be having sequence number 0 or 1. Receiver must check if the received packet is duplicate. State indicates whether 0 or 1 is expected packet. Note, if receiver cannot know if it's last acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement received, okay, at the sender. It is quite confusing. Don't worry about it. Just go through what I have discussed with you. Okay, RDT 2.2. Next thing is RDT 2.0, a negative acknowledgement free protocol, a NAK free protocol. What do you mean by NAK free protocol? Okay. Same functionality as RDT 2.1 using acknowledgements only. Even if the packet is corrupted, you are not going to send negative acknowledgement. Instead, you are going to send the acknowledgement for the previous packet again. Sender will understand that why receiver has sent the acknowledgement for the previous packet twice. Sender will understand that, okay, the recently sent packet has some issue. That's why sender has sent the previous acknowledgement again. That means it has to retransmit the packet. You can see here, instead of NAK, receiver sent acknowledgement for the last packet received. Okay, is that clear? Receiver must explicitly include sequence number of packet being acknowledged. So in this case, what happens? Receiver should add the sequence number in the acknowledgement packet also. Okay. Duplicate acknowledgement at sender results in same action as negative acknowledgement. Retransmit current packet. So you can see here sender FSM and receiver FSM. Just go through this, students, for a second. In 2.0, in 2.2, there is no negative acknowledgement. Instead of negative acknowledgement, you will be retransmitting the acknowledgement of the previous packet again, but with sequence number. You can see here, in the sequence number is added in the receiver's response packet also. Is it clear, students? Do you have any doubt with RDT 2.2? Am I clear to you? Hello? Am I audible?
Sir, what is the thing that RDT 2.2 is overcoming from RDT 2.1?
So basically, you are removing a negative acknowledgement concept. See, whenever you are adding a new type of packet, that means the negative acknowledgement is a separate packet with a different header information compared to acknowledgement packet. When you are removing that, you are actually taking the stress out of a particular packet. Is that clear? Particular protocol. You are directly removing the negative acknowledgement concept only.
But the thing what is being done is the same, no, sir? Like
It is the same, but you are reducing the effect there. Instead of having, instead of burdening the protocol with a different new type of packet called negative acknowledgement, you are just using a positive acknowledgement only, but with a minor change, with a sequence number change. That's all.
Okay, sir, got it, sir.
So today we will stop here. Next is 3.0, RDT 3.0, which we will take up in the next class. In RDT 3.0, we will assume that there is packet loss. So we know that here in RDT 2.0, we started with bit errors. If there is a bit error, what you have to do? And we got to know that we have to add checksum bits. Now in RDT 3.0, what happens? There are bit errors and also packet loss. Bit errors will not overcome the problem of packet loss. Sender sends a packet and keeps on waiting for the acknowledgement. Receiver has not received the packet at all to send the acknowledgement. So how does sender will get to know that packet is lost? Okay, so that's the issue here. So how to overcome that? What is the technique involved? Using that technique, are you going to solve the entire problem or not? Those things we are going to see in RDT 3.0. We have very less time to start with 3.0, so I'm not going to start now. In the next class, I will start. So we'll have a quiz tomorrow, students. Friday we couldn't have the quiz. So tomorrow, what time you are free? Like when shall we have the quiz? During the class hour itself, shall we have the quiz? That should be better. Hello. I can't hear you properly. Can anyone respond properly?
Tomorrow we have compile design quiz. That is what is saying.
But anyway, you have prepared for it already, right? Friday, it was supposed to be on Friday.
We have it on Wednesday. So.
We'll have it on Wednesday.
Like Wednesday we have one more quiz, but that is little easy than tomorrow's exam, so we can manage on Wednesday.
Is it okay with everyone?
Yes, sir.
So shall we have it? We will have it on Wednesday in the class itself, regular class itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine then. So we'll stop here now. We will continue in the next class, tomorrow's class. Thank you. You can leave, students.
Sir?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Normally, with respect to reliable transfer data transfer protocols, in the action part, we are having two functions, no, sir, like extract and deliver data.
Yes, in the
What?
receiver set.
Yes, sir. Sir. Extract means it will be like something like decoding
Yeah, I
part. Can
can't
you
hear you
explain?
properly. There is some disturbance.
Okay. Am I audible, sir?
Hello.
Is it fine now?
Yeah, now you are audible.
Can you explain those statements? From the beginning, those two were
Which
there,
one?
like extract, deliver data, and then UDT send.
See, extract in the sense the receiver has received a packet. Transport layer has received a packet. Extract in the sense header instruct information. It has to open and check. It has to see whether there is a error in it or not. Okay, that is what basically extracting. After extracting only you will get to know there are any bit errors or not. Okay, so you will extract first. After extracting, if there are no bit errors, you are going to deliver it to the above layer. That means from the transport layer, you are giving it to the application layer, exact application. Okay, that's the meaning of extract function call. And extract is not a function call there basically. Deliver data is a function call. You are extracting. After that, you are going to deliver the packet to the above layer. UDT send. UDT send where happens when you are sending a packet from transport layer to the network layer. Okay, when you have created a packet, you are going to make UDT send. Why? Because the below layer, network layer, is a unreliable channel. That's why you are making a function called as UDT send. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Like normally I didn't understand sender sends and receiver receives, no, sir. Deliver
Yeah.
after the event RDT receives from the of the packet, then these extract and deliver actions happen, no, sir.
Yeah.
Why deliver data here? Like to where it is to application layer, you said, sir. Like why receiver is delivering that part? Can you make it clear?
No, receiver is delivering it from transport layer to the application layer. See, in the sender side, you are making a function call called UDT send, right? So you are making it because you are sending it from the transport layer to the network layer. Similarly, here in the receiver side, you transfer the packet from transport layer which it has received to the application layer to the above layer. You have to make a function call that is termed as deliver here. Okay. From one layer to send it to another layer, you have to make a function call.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, hope I have answered you. You can leave, students. Thank you.